Welcome back to Ole Red 99.5. Thank you for joining us tonight. 8:15 p.m. local time here in Geneva, Nebraska. And can't really deny it that some of these fans have been looking forward to this game for a little bit now. I mean, these are two top teams in Class C2 in the state of Nebraska. Fillmore Central coming into this game number 7 and unbeaten, 3-0. Wilber-Clatonia is 2-1, but their only loss was to the other undefeated team in the division, St. Cecilia, who Fillmore Central will meet up in a little while. They'll meet up with St. Cecilia at home in the second to last game of the season. They play Wilber-Clatonia tonight. They're on the road at Fairbury next week, at home against Donovan Trumbull. And then they're at Grand Island Central Catholic before they go up against St. Cecilia at home. And they'll finish the season at Wood River. Meanwhile, for Wilber-Clatonia, after this game on the road, they'll play at home against Lincoln Lutheran. They'll play at Tri-County. Remember, Tri-County blew out Fairbury in the opening game of the season. They'll play at home against Centennial, at Milford, and their final game of the season is a home game against Malcolm. Both of these teams will hope that their season will last longer than those games, and they hope that they can make it to the playoffs. So Wilber-Clatonia got the ball to begin the game. They were forced to a 3-and-out, leading into a touchdown. So that means that they'll have to kick the ball off to begin the second half. Wilber-Clatonia's far sideline holding their helmets up in the air as this kick is taken and reeled in at the 15-yard line and taken across the 25, across the 30. He goes to the near sideline, and he's out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Nice return there from Dylan Gowecki, So, first and 10 from the 37-yard line officially. Fillmore Central's offense has done really well this game, but a few mistakes, including an interception on their last drive at the end of the first half, courtesy of the cornerback, Grant Coleman, the sophomore. First and 10 for Fillmore Central. Stassinis hands it off up the middle, and Kimbrough gets a short gain of about 3 yards to the 40-yard line. So 2nd and 6 officially. Kimbrough was a big part of that first half for Fillmore Central. Was able to get a 35-yard rushing touchdown on 3rd and 11 and was able to get some big-time running plays. Now, two lined up in the backfield with Stassinis under center. They hand it off, and here's a big hole here for Trevor Roach up the near sideline and across midfield as he gets knocked out of bounds at the 39-yard line. So big pickup on the play of about 21 yards officially. 21-yard rushing play by Roach. So Roach and Kimbrough on the ground for Fillmore Central, the two tailbacks. They've been big players for the Panthers. So they're in Wilber-Clatonia territory at the 39. Once again, two tailbacks, Kimbrough and Roach. They're going to hand it off to Roach. He cuts upfield, and he gets met like a brick wall. Gain of 1 on the play. And on the tackle right there, looked like it was Stone Thielen. Or correction, actually, it was actually Owen Smith. So Stone Thielen actually, folks, left the game earlier clutching his right wrist. And he has not returned since. So 2nd and 9 after a 1-yard run by Roach on the ground. Tackle again from Smith. Lined up under center is the QB, Stassinis. And he'll flip it outside. Here's Kimbrough running up on the near sideline. Got a hole inside the 30. And he fumbled the football at the 22-yard line. They mark it a fumble. Wilber-Clatonia recovers. Kimbrough fumbled the football while he was being tackled. And recovering it on the play was Jack Zimmerman. What a big defensive play. 2 turnovers now on back-to-back drives forced by the Wolverines. And a touchdown would bring them back to within 4. Now a 2-point conversion after the touchdown, if it is converted, would bring them to a 3-point game. But it's so early in the third quarter, you don't know if they end up scoring it, if they would even go for a 2-point conversion, take that risk. And actually, they're all the way back at their own 22, so you don't even know if they're going to score yet. They're hoping that they will. So Skleba lined up under center with two tailbacks, Radcliffe and Palmer. This looks like a running play here. First play, they flip it outside for Palmer, trying to break up field, and he got wrestled down. There's a flag on the play. He's met at the line of scrimmage for no gain, and it looks like he may have gotten face masked. Palmer lost his helmet, and he walks off. Actually, I think he can stay on the field since he was face masked, and it was ripped off. So face mask on Fillmore Central with 10:01 to play in the third quarter. Well, for a team in Fillmore Central that came into this game outscoring their first three opponents this season 126-14, none of their games, and I mean none of their games, have even actually been decided within 3 scores, let alone actually 4 scores. Their closest game this season was 30-0. That was the final score. So they haven't really been tested like this so far this year. Ball placed at the 38. Here's a pass play for Skleba, looking at the near sideline and completing it to Ty Kuhlman, who is able to get out to the 45-yard line, pickup of 7, make it 2nd and 3. Nice catch for Kuhlman, the senior, 6'2", 190, tall individual. And when he goes up against the cornerbacks who are not usually as tall as him, it's a little bit of a mismatch. And right there, Skleba figured that out. Two tailbacks again for Wilber-Clatonia. Skleba lined up under center. Here's Skleba flipping it to Palmer, cutting up field across the 45. He gets met and marked down at the 47. He's just a yard short, pickup of 2, make it 3rd and 1. He's just short. But I wouldn't be surprised here if they go with Carter Skleba, the QB, maybe a QB sneak. They went with that before on 3rd and short. And Skleba is lined up under center. They have 3 receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side. Skleba with Radcliffe lined up behind him. He keeps it himself. He tries to run it forward. Skleba, I don't know if he got there. He's right at the line to gain. Let's see what the refs call. And they do say that he got just a yard to pick up the first down. So Skleba able to pick it up. And let's see here. So Skleba stayed down a little longer than I thought. Skleba is slow to get up, and he's limping after that QB run. Now Skleba is a starting quarterback. He's going to stay in the game despite limping. Let's see what they end up going for here. Skleba, he's staying out in the game. He looks like he hurt his left leg, but he's still out there. 1st and 10 from midfield for Wilber-Clatonia. Skleba is running the ball with a hurt left leg. He breaks a tackle and trying to make something out of nothing as he gets wrapped up and brought down back at the 45-yard line. Loss of 3 on the play. And I don't know. I don't know if Skleba can stay out in the game. I mean, he just hurt his left leg, and you go with a QB run on the first play after he came up limping. There's a flag on the play after a loss of 3. Let's see what it is. I believe it's holding on Wilber-Clatonia, and it is. So I think they might end up accepting this. And, yeah, they will accept it, and they'll move it back 10 yards. So instead of a loss of 3, it's going to be, I believe, a 1st and 20 coming up here. Yeah, that is a long way to go for Wilber-Clatonia. Well, folks, Carter Skleba staying out in the game. 4 receivers lined up on the near side, 1-on-1 on the far side for Skleba. He's lined up in the backfield by himself. 1st and 20, a long 20. Skleba to throw. Screen pass across field and breaking tackles and getting to the open space. It's a foot race for Jack Zimmerman. He's wrapped up and brought down at the 20-yard line. Big pickup on the play of about 40 yards. Zimmerman on a simple little slant route broke a tackle. This field is still wet from the rain earlier. And a big pickup of 40 yards on the play gets them in the red zone at the 19-yard line. 1st and 10 Skleba, he's a tough kid. Even with his left leg probably not feeling as good as it did before, he's still out on the field and making crisp, accurate throws. 2 tailbacks for Skleba. And they'll fake the handoff. Skleba's going to run it himself and step over a man and get inside the 15 and mark him down at the 14. Pickup of about 5 makes it 2nd and 5. Well, just resilience by the QB1 here of Wilber-Clatonia. This is just truly just putting the team first. Now, obviously, he's not injured too badly as it looks like it. He is running under his own power, and I think his limp has gone away a little bit. But he is doing a phenomenal job on 2nd and 5. Skleba hands it off to Palmer on the near side, and he gets brought down on a gain of about 2 yards, make it 3rd and 1. So 3rd and 1, actually make it 3rd and 2, correction coming up here. They got to get down to the 9-yard line, currently at the 11. Let's see what they go for here. Skleba, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a little QB design run here. A touchdown would go a very long way, would make it a 21-17 game. 2 tailbacks with Skleba. Skleba hands it off up the middle to Palmer. He powers forward, and did he get there? I think he comes up a yard short. Tackled on the play by Cade Cooper and Jackson Turner. 4th and 1. You got to think, a field goal brings it down to an 8-point game, but a touchdown would go a long way. They are going to go for this on 4th and 1 at the 10-yard line. Even if they don't get it, Fillmore Central is backed up pretty deep in their own territory. 5:20 to play in the 3rd quarter. 21-10 Fillmore Central. This is about as big of a play as it can get. Fillmore Central lined up in their goal line stand. 4th and 1. Skleba hands it off. It's a run play to Radcliffe. Did he get there? And they mark him down at the 9-yard line, and that is enough to move the sticks and make it 1st and goal. Pickup of 1 for Carson Radcliffe. There were two tailbacks, I should say, in the backfield. Radcliffe was the closest one to Skleba, and they handed it off to Radcliffe to make sure that Fillmore Central didn't have enough time to react. Once again, they go with Skleba under center, 2 tailbacks. Skleba on 1st and goal hands it off to Radcliffe again. He's brought down. It looked like maybe it was a fumble. Coming away with the football is Jackson Turner. He's all the way at the 40, but the refs blew the whistle dead, or rather blew the play dead. 2nd and goal, no gain. Well, that was an interesting play. Maybe that was a fumble for Radcliffe. But Wilber-Clatonia still has the football, 2nd and goal at the 8-yard line. That was a risky play. 2nd and goal from the 8. 2 tailbacks lined up right next to Skleba. It's Radcliffe and Palmer. Skleba to pass, going to the end zone, and it was thrown behind the intended receiver. I believe, can't actually quite tell whose number that was on that play. I think that was actually Colin Kohut, the intended receiver on that play. Actually, it was Zimmerman, correction. So Zimmerman, that pass was thrown behind him on a slant route. They tried that play earlier and ended up getting 41 yards from it. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 8. Skleba with Radcliffe lined up to his right. 3 receivers on the far sideline for Skleba. 3rd and goal. They need 8 yards to convert the touchdown. Skleba rolling to his right. That pass is deflected at the line of scrimmage and caught at the 5-yard line by Cooper Palmer. That's going to be 4th and goal from the 5. And now I think they kind of have to go for the field goal here. 5 yards is a little too much to be giving away points if they don't convert it. This would be a very short chip shot field goal here for Wilber-Clatonia. We saw Kenneth Guerra hit one from 27 yards out. This one is from about 25, a little closer. for Guerra to make it an 8.1 score game. We wait for the snap. The snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is right down the middle and money. So the kick is good, but Fillmore Central's got to be happy they held them to a field goal and not a touchdown. It's an 8-point game with 3:52 to play in the third quarter. 21-13, Fillmore Central leading it over Wilber-Clatonia, looking to get the ball back are the Panthers right after this on Old Red. Welcome back to Geneva, Nebraska. This game between Wilber-Clatonia and Fillmore Central is brought to you by Heath Sports Shop in downtown Crete, Match Express Food Shop and Oil, your Sinclair Gas and Diesel stations in Fairbury, Plymouth Irrigation and Plymouth Electric, Starbuco Insurance in Fairbury, Wills Implement in Plymouth, Husker Rehab in Fairbury, Beatrice, Lincoln, and Nebraska City, and by Sherbarth Ace Hardware in Fairbury. So a 25-yard chip shot field goal by the Wolverines of Wilber-Clatonia makes it an 8-point game, 21-13. Wilber-Clatonia, a team that wants to get back into the playoffs after missing it last year. Well, they are taking the number 17 down to the wire. This one bounces into the end zone off the kickoff and will be a touchback. Luke Kimbrough is the one that leaves it. So midway through the third quarter, this game is sponsored by Star Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning of Fairbury, Chapel Roofing in Fairbury, Riverside Chevrolet in Fairbury, and Jefferson Community Health and Life in Fairbury. So it was a fumble on the last drive by Kimbrough, and that was recovered all the way inside the 10-yard line by Wilber-Clatonia. So it negated some points for Fillmore Central. Handoff up the middle to Kimbrough. He finds a hole. He's across the 30 and wrapped up and brought down at the 35-yard line. An immediate pickup of 16 yards. First down, Fillmore Central, and we have an injured Panther on the field. Can't see what the number is, but we will update you when we come back. It looks like a cramp for now, but we will be right back after this on All Red 99.5. Welcome back. So we had two Fillmore Central Panthers that were injured on that play. It was Marky Heinrichs, the senior. He limped off under his own power. He actually jogged off while limping. And then Luke Kimbrough, the tailback, picked up 16 yards on that play, also was injured. Both of them cramps, and both players walking off under their own power. Well, actually, Heinrich was running, which is a great sign. Kimbrough was walking. He's already done a ton this game. But now it's 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line for Fillmore Central with 3.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. We still have a whole nother quarter of play here in Geneva. Two tailbacks lined up behind Stasinus, the QB. They take the snap, and they're going to hand it off to Trevor Roach to the far sideline, and an end around gets across the 40, wrapped up and brought down at the 44. So he's able to pick up 8 yards and make it 2nd and 2 for Roach. Nice pickup on that play by the tailback. Kimbrough not in the game, so Trevor Roach knows that he's kind of going to be the main RB1 when Kimbrough's not in. This game is sponsored by Members Owned Credit Union in Beatrice and Lincoln, Norris Public Power District, Beatrice Community Hospital and Health Center, and Fortified Group Insurance and Real Estate with offices in Geneva, Shickley, and Davenport. 2nd and short. Hand it off to Roach up the middle and powers forward. Pickup of 3. Is that enough for the first down? They're going to say it is. So first down, pickup of 3 by Trevor Roach, the sophomore. And Luke Kimbrough still not on the field. He's still getting stretched out, his left leg stretched out here on the sideline due to cramping. 1st and 10 for Fillmore Central after the pickup of 3. 2.5 minutes to go in this third quarter. The time is going to start playing a huge factor deeper and deeper into this game, especially for Wilber-Clatonia, but Fillmore Central is going to want to run the clock down for the most part. 1st and 10. They flip it to Roach. He's able to catch it, and he's wrapped up, and he still powers forward, and it looked like he was going to lose 4 yards on the play, but he loses only a yard, makes it 2nd and 11. Nice tackle there on the play by Jack Zimmerman. Also getting in there was Camden Meza, the freshman. Actually, correction on that. That was actually not Meza on that play. That was actually Jorge Vasquez, the senior. So 2nd and 11. 2 tailbacks for Stasinus. Here's Roach on the carry. He's brought down at the line of scrimmage. Maybe let him pick up about a yard there. 3rd and 10 coming up here for Fillmore Central. I think they might just have to throw the football here on this 3rd and long. They've ran it almost the entire drive so far with 1:20 to play in the 3rd. Stasinus looking over at the sideline and getting the play call here from Coach Eberhardt. 3rd and 10. Can Wilber-Clatonia get off the field? And can they get their offense back out trailing by 8? 1 score. The far sideline, Wilber-Clatonia's sideline. Channing defense. Can their defense deliver? On 3rd and 10, we get a whistle. And this is going to be a timeout call by Fillmore Central, so we'll take one too. Late in the 3rd quarter, 56 seconds to play, 21-13 Fillmore Central leading it over Wilber-Clatonia. A big 3rd and long coming up here for the Panthers. Wolverines trying to get the ball back right after this on All Red 99.5. Welcome back to Geneva, Nebraska. Big 3rd down and long coming up here for Fillmore Central, leading it by 8 over Wilber-Clatonia. Number 7 against unranked, but the unranked team believes that they should be undefeated right now. They had a tough 6-point defeat against St. Cecilia, the other undefeated team in this division, along with Fillmore Central. 3rd and 10. Wilber-Clatonia down by 8. They want the ball back on offense. Stasinus takes a snap, play action, looking to the left. He'll throw it on the run. It's caught by Roach. He slipped and fell across the midfield. It's a pickup of 4 yards, make it 4th and 6. If he didn't fall there, he has open field, green grass. Would have been a 1st down. And now Wilber-Clatonia's defense steps up big, and they'll get the football back. 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Standing back to receive the kick is Cash Keslar. And on to punt it is Cade Cooper for Fillmore Central. Only the 2nd punt of the game for Fillmore Central. Their other 2 drives where they didn't score points were off of 2 turnovers. This is a deep punt from the 40-yard line and will bounce at the 24 and take a nice Wilber-Clatonia bounce from the 24 back to the 27. Nice punt, but an unfortunate, unlucky bounce. 5 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. This should be the last play of the quarter. Coming up here for Wilber-Clatonia. This game is sponsored by Crete Area Medical Center, Wilbur and Friend Medical Clinics, and Smith Auto in Pawnee City. Learn more at SmithAutoNE.com. Wilber-Clatonia 1st and 10 from their own 27. 5 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Let's see what they have drawn up here. Carter Skleba was limping on the last drive, but he stayed out, was able to give his team 3 points. Now he's back out on the field with 5 wide. Skleba to pass. Pump fakes once, looking downfield, taking a shot, and he overthrew 3 of his receivers. There were 3 guys there. Carson Radcliffe, Kenneth Guerrera, and a bunch of guys were down there and they were overthrown. 3 quarters in the book and 1 important quarter to go. 12 minutes to play in this game, maybe even more pending overtime. But it's an 8-point lead for Fillmore Central, leading it over Wilber-Clatonia, 21-13, 4th quarter. Big quarter coming up next on All Red 99.5.